Testing. Okay, everybody, welcome to Sessions Live. It's my first live show. I'm going to start doing this every Friday, I believe, around 4 p.m. I might alter the time, see what kind of views we get here and if people are interested or whatever. But yeah, that's part of the reason I'm here. I'm here just to get a feel because what a lot of people don't know, because I do a lot of audio only with B-roll video, and the obvious reason I'm not a supermodel, which is frustrating as fuck. And let me explain that real quick. It is so frustrating as a creator to put, let's just say I do anywhere from 10 to 15-minute videos, but it could take me 4 to 8 hours to produce this thing, to produce it with any quality. And that's negotiable, whether you think it's quality or not, of course. It's up to you, the viewer. But then the next, you see, your 100 views, your 1,000 views. And then the next picture is just some girl in a bikini on a beach doing nothing, no production value beyond her look. And she has 3.3 million views. Frustrating, but understandable. So I'm just going to wait for a few people to, jump in here. And of course, I'll just continue talking. I'm used to this. It's fine. But yeah, this is Headbangers history. We're going to talk today about some ticket sale issues that I have personally and relates to you. Then talk about my show, what I expect from it, because this is my full-time gig. This is it. I don't get a paycheck. I don't have a alternative job beyond writing books. I do write books, so you can find me, Fred Carroll, on Amazon, wherever you buy books. I podcast, I write books, I do screenplays, film movies, all entertainment value, but all on my own through the Left Eye Lazy Media company, which I own, which then goes out and does other things with other businesses, local and stuff. So, the one of the beyond that one frustration is I am by nature comical. I like to have fun. But in this genre, for some reason, when I do choose to have fun with a video, it doesn't go over as well as the more documentary style, which is something I also do a lot of. The metal yearbooks, they do well. The one thing I didn't want to do with this channel was lock myself in. And I'm guilty of locking myself in by calling it Headbangers History. Because I'm a fan of a lot of different genres of music. But metal is my first love. It's what I know best. Not always perfect, and I'm not always 100% correct, but I have no problem in the comments as long as they're presented in a um in a fashion that's human. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong or when I could do better. And I do get better. I change it. Whatever. But so right now I'm very close to what is in this game called monetization. And the monetization is important because of what I told you before. I have no income beyond this. I do have other channels. I have Misfit Cinema, which is basically this, but in a cinema format, movies, film, stuff like that. A new channel starting called The Archivist's Ashes, and that's starting next week. I'll be sharing that around, and that's really cool because this is I mean, it's so hard to explain, but all I could tell you is I was contacted by this gentleman, or who I thought was a gentleman, and asked to meet. I met with this man, and he presented me with cassette tapes of him. He calls himself the archivist, or I call him the archivist. And every month he just supplies me with more cassettes, and he pays me well to produce these. So that's interesting, and we'll get to that. But this is Headbanger's history. So let's talk fucking metal. Let's talk about certain things that are going on and stuff. So one is something that what the hell is happening with these rock shows? And let's just talk about something that I think that every single rock and metal lifers felt lately, and it's this creeping feeling that live metal shows just aren't for us anymore. They aren't. It's sad. The prices are out of control because last night, not last night, but last week, um, Sunday, Toad's Place, New Haven. If you know, you know. It's a sweaty, crusty, iconic bar, local place to Yale, local to me, kind of place that just feels like music. I've seen legends in that room, all the way from Megadeth, Sepultura, all the way down. But last night it was Biohazard. And listen, Biohazard absolutely fucking destroyed. No frills, just a raw, hardcore set in a packed low ceiling fire trap. But the ticket, $50, $50 after fees to see a band that I've seen at VFW halls for gas money. And the purpose here isn't, I'm not throwing shade at Toads at all. I love the place. It's not their fault. This is the cost of doing business. But here's where we have gut check moments, because I saw Metallica with Ozzy for $12.50. Master of Puppets tour. That era. That Ozzy. And I'm not here just saying like those were the days, get off my lawn. I understand. I'm not some cranky old bastard that can't wrap my head around the cost of doing business. But I'm often asking, what the hell happened? And I know part of the answer, at least for me locally, and his name here is Jim Koplik. If you've ever gone to a big rock show in Connecticut in the last 30 years, you've been to a Koplik promoted show. Everything. He has his hands on everything. He's a Connecticut legend. He's a kingpin. Started in the 70s, bringing in 70s acts like The Doors, famous in my area, Janis Joplin. And he just built it up show by show. And honestly, he is a pioneer. He's brought us decades of enjoyable, unforgettable acts and shows. And I appreciate them. I appreciate the hell out of it. And seriously, if Jim's listening or Jim gets to watch this and sees this, I'm willing to talk one-on-one with him with no shade, because I'd love to have him on, have a real conversation about the cost and what it's doing to the real fan. And it's not a hit piece, because all it is two people who care about live music. And he's aware of this. He's not a fool, obviously. But I want to talk about how to keep it alive and keep it accessible to the fan. But we also we kind of have to be honest. Jim Koplik doesn't work for Jim Koplik. Not anymore. He works for Live Nation. Oh, that name, Live Nation. And that, my friends, is exactly where the real monster is. Live Nation's the monster. Live Nation doesn't just sell tickets. They own the venues. They run the festivals. They manage the artists. They promote the shows. And then And then thanks to this little deal, a lot of people aren't aware of this, this little deal with Ticketmaster back in 2010, they control the goddamn pipeline from start to finish. So when you wonder why your $35 ticket turns into a 50 or $65 after fees, it's not the venue. It's not even the band half the time. Truthfully, it's Live Nation and Ticketmaster charging you a convenience fee just for using your internet, your own internet, charging a processing fee for something they do in a click automatically, charging a venue fee for a venue that they own. They already own the fucking venue. And then to add more pain to it, they even invented dynamic pricing. I don't know if you know what dynamic pricing is, but that's saying the more people who want to see a band, the more the price rises in real time. It's like playing slots in Vegas. The only difference is the house always wins. And this is all relative to Rush. Rush making their announced of a comeback. I'm a huge Rush guy, huge Rush fan. Seen them, I think I'm on 34 times, 35 times. This feels like a resurrection. Not as the Holy Trinity we knew, because obviously Neil's gone and and that's a wound that's never gonna close. And he's a legend that could never be replaced. It's impossible. I don't know how they would, but Getty and Alex, and God bless them, they're out there again. And they brought in a drummer who, in my opinion, if you go and listen, is absolutely crushing it. And her name's Annika Niles. And yeah, I'm going to say it. She's a fucking monster, an absolute monster. She has taste, she has power, control. She's not mimicking Neil. She's not here to be Neil Peart. She is here, and I think she's gonna do it to channel the spirit of those parts of him with her own fire behind the kit. It's not nostalgia, it's evolution. And if anybody has ever seen her play and think, this is how you carry the torch without burning it out. So when Rush announced these shows, I was all in. I couldn't have been happier. My kids were like, "Shut the fuck up, dad." Or at least I tried to be. Sold out immediately. Didn't even make it into the what's that word? Queue? Queen queue in the resale. Now they're at 300 minimum. 300 fucking dollars to sit back and squint at what used to feel like home. Still Rush, at least in soul, still powerful. But that price, it just hit different, especially when you add in travel. You add in your hotel, your merch, food, and maybe dragging your kid or your partner along. Now you're doubling that price. You're looking at $1,000 over a weekend just to see two-thirds of a band that you've worshiped for 30, 40 years, for decades. And yeah, they're doing it. They're supposedly doing this for the fans. But honestly, most of us cannot afford to be in that room. So so I'm gonna break down the system as I understand it, at least. And believe me, if I'm mistaken and you know more or have a extra to add to it, feel free to comment. I'm okay being wrong, but I'm just going off the research I have and some of the knowledge from friends and bands. But let's say that ticket is $50. So where's the money really going? Venue and promoter fees is 20 to 30%. You got staff, insurance, security, lights, advertising. Keeps place alive. Artist guarantee 30 to 50%. Touring itself is not cheap, not for these types of bands. You got gear, you got trucks, you got crew, hotel rooms, fuel. The band's cut comes, as I heard, is it comes after everyone else gets paid. Now there's ticket platform fees, which are 20 to 40%. And that's your Ticketmaster, AXS, Eventbrite slap on processing fees, convenience fees, facility charges, order fee. And this is exactly how your $35 ticket magically becomes 60. And I'm lowballing. I know I'm lowballing. I'll get messages on that. And dynamic pricing, if the demand surges, so does the price. It just goes up in real time by the minute. And this is Live Nation. They're scalping you before the scalpers get a chance to scalp you. And I know other countries have figured this out. They've fixed this, and why can't we? So, like in Germany, Germany has enforced price caps. They have non-transferable tickets, fan resale platforms. Gone. In France, no resales above face value. If you do, it's illegal. Flat caps enforced. Australia. What did Australia? What do I? Oh, Australia was one of the ones that cap resale at 110%. And price gouging laws apply. In the UK, you got anti-bot laws and consumer watchdogs that actually do the fucking job. They do this stuff. And meanwhile, here in the United States, forget about it. We get Live Nation. We get a fuck you. We get bots and the opportunity to pay $300 for a balcony seat at a club. So what's the most you've ever paid for, let's say, face value? And was it worth it? Because I paid $250 to see Tool, worth every penny. But have you ever beaten the system? How'd you get a fair price ticket? I know some of it is who you know and stuff, but it just seems they sell out so quick. It's got to be the scalpers. I want people that work in the venues, the law, the tour management. Drop me some real numbers. And what would it take legally from our end to cap resale margins in the United States? You know, I'm assuming people out there would back legislation to regulate ticket pricing. So I'm here to say, let's try to figure a way here. And you know what? Screw it. I don't care. I don't care. Because if no one else wants to do it, I'm willing to be the voice. I got time. I told you I don't have a real job. I'll be the guy. I'll take the meetings. I'll put on a suit and tie, straighten it out, talk to the reps, walk into Capitol Hill with a battle vest. I'll bring a spreadsheet. And believe me, this isn't just about biohazard tickets or missing rush, which sadly hurts me greatly. It's actually about protecting the music in the future that made us who we are or who I believe we are. And I have to be and if I have to be the bastard, I'll be the bastard. Why not? Let's start it. So I want to hear from you guys. I want to drop some stories in the comments. Why not? I'm here. Might as well talk to people. Tag a band that still gives a damn. Tell me where you're from. Give me some ideas here, what you guys want to see from my channel. Let's make some noise. This is the scene. It's ours, but I can't continue to do this if I'm not going to turn any profit. I'm in business to be a business. Every video I post, every stream, every segment, I want it to be better than the last. So I'm just looking over here and seeing what's going on, but yeah, listen, Headbanger's history. I want it to become something sustainable where I could turn this into a full platform and give it my full attention, something that lifts the scene. But I don't want to be that guy who only talks about Metallica, Megadeth. I want to talk about the small bands. But every time I do bring up the small bands, I don't get the views. I don't get the, and I get that. Metallica is a huge thing. But your support matters. It does. The likes, the comments, the subs, it all helps. But I'm at a crossroads here where I could go in a different direction if I choose to, but I love this fucking genre so much that I want to stay in it. I enjoy doing the production of this, and a lot goes into the production of this. My plans here are bigger. I've got bigger plans like this, adding this weekly live. But eventually, I want to add this live into be an interview series. Musicians, industry voices, fans, big names, local names, unknown bands, the unknowns just trying to get heard. And no gatekeeping. Oh, I hate this fucking gatekeeping shit. Every time I bring up women in metal, for instance. Oh man. God forbid I mention a woman in metal, the gatekeepers just come out in full force. Wah, 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 whining and oh, you shut the fuck up about it. This is part of it. Every band out there that's produced something, whether you enjoy them or not, could be either helping somebody else, could be somebody else's favorite band. They could they all move the needle forward one way or the other. They move the needle, I should say. But they're all important. Even the bands you consider shitty and sucky are bands that have moved the needle. They've done something. They tried. You got to take a chance in life and do what you believe is right. And it's not always perfect. I'm a 50% guy. I know 50% of you tell me to fuck off, 50% of you tell me I'm great. But I want you to stick around. It only gets louder from here because my personal music choices are all over the place. And although not all music fits under what I called Headbanger's history, and I can't change the name now from Headbanger's history to music history or anything, I'm still going to talk about the bands that are just rock, maybe some alt rock bands. Every now and then I might drop an REM thing in there. I just love talking about the music. I love talking about the bands, interesting things with the bands. What turns me on isn't always going to turn you on, but I don't want to tarnish the name. So do me a favor, help me continue this channel. Just a share, a like, a comment, a positive comment. Positivity goes so far because I do a lot with mental health. My show on here, Sessions, Icons and Demons, all about addiction, all about those who have survived addiction and those who tragically have been taken. People enjoy those stories. I don't particularly enjoy making them, but it's something that's passionate. I feel like I'm making a difference. And if one person's affected by it, it's enough. So I'm well aware I'm not perfect. I have my other channel, Your Crisis Coach, which is a full time podcast with the great Scott H. Silverman, where we discuss every week with famous people to whatever about addiction recovery and mental health and mental wellness. It's just a place where we talk about the hard to talk about. This is supposed to be fun, and it's not always fun. It's not always perfect, but with your support, we can at least keep metal music growing, keep it on the map, and give it some push because you just don't see it anymore. So I guess that's going to be it. I mean, obviously, the 4 p.m., it's not like I got a million fans or anything, but give this a listen. Give me a share. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want to see. Do you wanna see me on camera more? I could do it. Obviously, I got the studio. I just choose not to. It seems like my B-rolls get more, which hurts. It hurts this man, this aging man. Hurts my soul that you guys don't wanna look at me. And it's sad. It's sad. But I'm gonna tough through it. Doing the audio with the B-roll, I'm fine with it. If you just wanna hear my voice. I don't know who the fuck would wanna hear my voice all the time, but if you wanna hear my voice, but do me a favor, go over to Your Crisis Coach. I'll put a link in somewhere and join us there. Go over to Misfit Cinema, join us there, and then go over to the Archivist's Ashes and join us there. All 4 channels, a lot of fun in some of them, not so much the addiction one, but we do entertain to a point because you got to laugh on the inside. You'll drive yourself fucking nuts. But I'm Fred Carroll. This is Headbangers History, and I will see you again next Friday. Get ready for more of the part 2s of, I believe I got death metal Monday, hair metal Tuesday, thrash metal Wednesday, and then I'm going to share the full length episodes starting, I think, the following Monday. But just get used to it. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you soon.